Okay, good morning, everybody. Let's go ahead and get started. Let me know if you can hear my audio and see my screen in the chat box. Just give me a little Y or a yes in the chat box there, just to let me know that it's working. I hope everybody's having a pretty good Friday. I'm excited for the weekend, excited to wrap up our trading and see if we can get some good opportunities here to go into the weekend. Before we get into trading and actually any type of analysis, let's go over our disclaimers. So as always, I just need to remind you guys about the risks involved in the market. You can lose all or more than your initial investment if you're not careful. So please be aware of how many pips you're risking on each trade, as well as how big your lot size is and ultimately how that would affect your account if you're to lose money. Okay, guys. So first things first, let's check to see the news. We had non-farm payroll this morning. Some unemployment change with the CAD. So basically they're equivalent to non-farm payroll. And good news, right? Like added some good jobs to the economy this month. Daylight savings this weekend, right, for the United States. So that's somebody asked me about the calendar. That could affect the calendar slightly, but it's not going to be a huge deal. Like everything's still the same time. So okay, so I think we have the green light to trade any of our favorite Euro currencies. So let me pull over what I'm looking at here. So a couple of currency pairs have already moved. Like for example, this is the Euro franc, but it got up to this high earlier right here. However, that was before the banker's close hour. Otherwise, that would have been a signal for us to go ahead and sell. You would have needed to be at the trade 15 minutes ago to be able to do that. I did not capture that, and neither will we, just because it's already kind of happened. So we'll have to wait for another signal opportunity to line up. I'm looking at some of my scanner over here to see if there's any other options. We may have to just wait just a little bit to get what we want. And then obviously this is the end of the banker's close hours. So this is between here and here is how much time we have to find an opportunity. So we will find one. It's just going to take some time. You can look at the euro pound. That's another one that we really like to trade. You can see that one had an opportunity. Except this is the banker's close hour right here. Technically, it had an opportunity, but again, it was 15 minutes ago. We're a little late to that one if we wanted to trade it. So I'm waiting for another setup today. You can look at the pound franc. That's another one that we like to trade. And that guy has, technically, again, if you were here a little earlier, if we were here a little earlier, we could have traded this, but I think it's good to be consistent. We just wait until the banker's close hour to go ahead and start. So we're going to wait until we find a solid setup. Let me look at, say, the euro dollar. The euro dollar is doing the exact same thing that a lot of these others are doing. 15 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago, it hit that high. That would have been a signal, but we're kind of late to that party. There's a chance, this thing goes up and creates another high this morning. So we'll see on all the currency pairs I just mentioned. But for now, it's just kind of a wait game. We're just kind of waiting. I'll keep my scanner open over here so that I can keep an eye on, if any other currency pair is doing what we need it to do. Let's see. In the meantime, I could show. Oh, actually, let's recap our trade from yesterday. So yesterday, while we're waiting for an opportunity to line up, let's see. This was Here we go. This was yesterday. So when we were in the webinar, it was kind of slow, if you remember. I think Lee mentioned, he was here yesterday. He mentioned how this is just an 8 pip range. Yeah, it's pretty tight. Pretty much for the whole webinar, it was just in this range. And every time it popped up, we added a little. If it came down, we would take off a few. But then ultimately, we let these trades run throughout that hour. And then past the hour, we let them run. We just didn't add anymore. And sure enough, this thing just kept on going down. And so most of our targets hit on this bar right here, and we were done. Obviously, it went more. Like it continued to come down. I think, yeah, there was obviously more opportunities to come down. We hit the high of the day. Obviously, where we sold right there, that was the high of the day. You don't always get that. You don't always know that you're selling at the high of the day, but it happens a lot in the banker's close hour. Um, I have a feeling that this will probably be a high of the day. So I'm basically just counting on this market coming down to here to see if we can find a buy opportunity. And same thing with the euro pound and the pound franc. But that was a fun trade. Although it took pretty much the whole hour to play out. That was a fun little trade. And now we're just kind of doing the same thing, but now just waiting for some of these other pairs to line up. This guy has punctured through the mid Bollinger Band now. And just continues to come down. So, I mean, this Euro franc really could line up for a buy pretty quick if it just keeps doing that. And pound franc may line up for a buy opportunity too. Euro pound, I'm not so sure on. It hasn't come down as far. And I'm just looking at all the other currency pairs that we trade during this hour, and I'm not seeing a true setup just yet. We definitely will get an opportunity. Let me look at this Aussie franc. Technically, the Aussie franc is lining up. This might be a good one. I'm tempted to buy this. Okay, let me show you what I'm looking at, guys, because I don't normally trade this pair, but I'm really tempted. Look at this. So here's the 5-minute, just punctured that lower Bollinger Band. We got a little pin bar down here. We're running into a lot of support. Again, we don't normally trade this pair, but I really like that. It looks like it could be a quick opportunity. And then what's the risk on this? I mean, this could come down to here. I guess it could go 28 pips against us type of thing before you get any help in the other direction. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead. I mean, it is the franc, so I feel confident going into that. I'm gonna take a couple of orders there. This is the Aussie franc, just so everyone knows. And just a little disclaimer, I'm not used to trading this pair, but I mean, it's got a setup, so I thought we might as well grab it. It's the only thing setting up right now that has anything with European pairs connected to it. So, I think it makes the most sense. All right. So yeah, I mean, yeah, it's the only thing with an opportunity in the true sense of what an opportunity looks like. Spread's a little wider on this guy than say some of the other pairs we're used to, but that's okay. I think we can work with it. And then let's draw our levels out. So basically, the market has a good chance if it pulls back, there's a good chance you'll find some support there. There's a good chance you'll find some there and probably right in this area. And then I guess as a final support area, you've kind of got, this area as well. Um, those would be the areas I'd be adding into and scaling into. And then let's see here. Yeah, as far as the target goes, obviously looking to get to the mid Bollinger Band is a must, right? So that would be the minimum target. Obviously, we can hold longer than that, but that would be the minimum. So okay, I'm going to add a trade or two to that as it continues to come down into this support area. And now it's lining up more as a true signal, right? Like if you zoom in on that bar, you can see it actually is puncturing through that lower Bollinger Band, right? I mean, that is the true sense. I mean, that is exactly what the signal looks like, you know. All right, I'm gonna check. I want to see if anything else lining up. No, our original, like our favorite pairs still don't have anything setting up right now. I mean, so I just think it's kind of really pretty much the only option we have. Um, Everything else is not lining up. So, okay, I'm going to drop down to a 1 minute now that I've got my levels all drawn out. All the different levels are drawn out. So now we can just drop down to here and watch the candlesticks. Now that we have kind of a game plan built in. And then let's go ahead and bring these targets in because, this is the mid Bollinger Band area. So we would want to close out of most of these trades kind of in this area right here. This is the alleyway right here we want to close at. So that's the goal today is to get up into there at the current moment, right? And then these are our levels to add at, down in here, up, down, all the way down to here is where we could potentially add to. And that is, for reference, 20 pips away from the current low. So kind of keep that in mind as you're adding to the position and as you're building it. But yeah. Okay, anything else that we can kind of lean on or get any other info? Nope, at the moment, I think, like I said, I think I've kind of pretty well gotten my initial analysis in here. And it's just kind of frustrating because there's not a lot of stuff that's lining up. And I don't like to trade these off pairs if I can avoid it. Um, I really, as you guys know, I really like to lean on that Euro franc, Euro pound, or pound franc, but those don't have opportunities right now. Fortunately, this does have that franc relationship. So, you know, because of that relationship, it should, it works. All right, yep, starting to build a little bit of a move here. Let's see if it follows through. On a 5-minute chart, you'll see this is a really nice pin bar down here, just like really, really nice pin bar. Um, so yeah, it does appear that somebody's willing to buy this up. You know, I'm not saying that it will, but it does appear that this little area is a signal that somebody was willing to buy it up, right? And now we just kind of wait, you know, it's not creating a new low right now. So since we're not at a new low, we're not really adding and we're not at a new high. So we don't have that, you know, we're not closing, we're just kind of in the middle. So now we just kind of wait. Yep. So just as a reminder, you know, I drew out these lines down here because it is possible that we could go to these levels before we get our move up, right? So just as a reminder too, like the scenarios could look like this, you know, from here it could go up and hit our targets and then we're done. From here it could also come down, hit this support and then come back up and then we're done. Or it could come down to here and then go up, or it could come down to here, this level, and then come up, right? So those are kind of what we're looking at. And then last scenario would be like, you know, instead of hitting our targets in any of those options, like it just keeps going down. This pair, I haven't really back tested this pair as much as say the Euro franc, pound franc, or Aussie Kiwi, but it appears to have a lot of the same characteristics as say the Euro franc. So I'm going to apply the Euro franc rules to this one. So, you know, that's max stop loss of 40 pips um, based off of my banker's close back test. Um, and then, you know, max trades. I personally, I can go up to 40 trades. I don't ever like to go that high, but you know, I could theoretically go as high as 40. So it does look like it may want to create another low here. So again, so just be aware of that and just be ready. Um, I'm okay with the current position that I have, whether it goes down or goes up from here. And that's kind of what you want to do too. You want to replicate that. And still, I'm looking at the other pairs that we like to trade. And I'm not seeing Euro franc, Euro pound, pound franc. None of them have an opportunity. So yeah, like I said, I think this is really kind of the only option. I just grabbed one more little trade there. So for now it's holding this level, but I do want to be clear. It kind of looks like it's just clear. It's gearing up for another break lower. So just be ready for that because I probably will break lower before we get that move higher. Like it's really kind of punching and holding this level right here. So that means typically that you're going to get a punch through there. So just be ready for that. Kind of slow so far. And that's a good thing. Slow is good. We like slow. Um, Contrary to a lot of traders, right? We like slow because that means that the phenomenon is more likely to take place. There's less news pushing the market, fewer things going on. So I'll take slow. Yeah, and still, I just went and checked the other three pairs that we like to trade, and still no setup. It's kind of crazy. To be honest, it looked like there was a really good setup with our pairs that we like to trade. 15 minutes before we got on, but that's not really the strategy rules. So, you know, so, and these aren't, from what I'm seeing, a lot of them aren't really following through. So I think we chose a good one here. It's nice that we have options, like if you don't have one thing lining up, you can always try and look at some alternatives. So let me show you guys my watch list while we're waiting here, just on the market to do something. When I'm trading my account on my watch list here, basically what I'm doing is I have every single currency pair that's connected to either the franc, the euro, or the pound. And so over here, these three, those are the three originals that we like to trade. So those kind of have kind of a designated area, and you can see none of them are lining up. Over here is, stuff that's connected to the franc, pound, or euro, but it's not necessarily one of our favorites. So, all right. So breaking down just a little bit, I'm going to grab another trade there, break it down to another level. Spread's kind of wide. Like I put on a couple of trades and it just kind of, like, the distance in the spread right now. Yeah, it's like 2 pips. It's kind of crazy, but it's okay. We'll deal with it. All right, so um, let's see. So we're kind of in between levels right here. So I was hoping it would actually come down right to here and then we could get a little bit more, but maybe we'll see if it does. But there is from this new low, we're about 16 pips away from where I think the market will probably, one of these levels will get a nice move where we can do a little cleanup phase on our trades. So, if it comes to here and we get a little pop, we can close out some of these trades here. We can settle with some of these trades for a smaller loss, like really small, and then leave the rest to ride. Here, I'm going to grab another trade there. And then let's see. One second, I got to update my counter here as I'm adding trades. Okay, perfect. I'm going to grab those, grab that, grab that. As it starts to kind of break loose a little bit here, that's okay. And like I said, I'm treating this pair like that Euro franc. So in terms of risk management, so I'm willing to tango with this trade up to 40 pips. And then if it doesn't do what I want within the 40, I call it. So that's kind of how I'm managing the risk right now on here. Another thing, let's see, another thing I'm watching. I don't know if you guys are familiar with what's called the banker's candle, but it's just a little strategy that I learned where you go to your 5-minute chart, and what you're looking for is you're looking for the bar that began right before a move up like this or a move down. So this bar, technically this would be a buy signal right there, because that was the last bar. That was the last blue bar before this market went up. A lot of people like to buy on those. So I'm curious to see if we form some support here. We will see. But like I said, we've got 2 more levels to come down to before I feel like, I don't know if it's worth adding to. Yeah, it's just kind of this general area right here. There's another like support right in here that we could potentially add into. And we wait, to see if it forms, if it continues to make another low, I'll add a few more. And then, if it goes up from here, if it comes back to this resistance area, I'll probably settle with a few of these trades. Like I'll close out some of these and leave the rest to ride type of thing. Um, anyway, when we get there, we'll approach that concept. But one thing I want to clarify, like I don't like it when trades do this. Like obviously I like it. I prefer when the trade just goes in our favor right away, right? That's kind of nice. Or if it goes against us just a little bit, like this one's gone against us so far 15 or 16 pips, which is fine. But I do want to just note something here, guys. Like I'm only down 0.6, 0.7%, so not even a full percent yet. A lot of traders, they can get down, even just in a move like that, they can get down like, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5% of their account in just a 15 pip range. Like we don't want to trade that way. Um, so that's why you got to keep coming to classes like this. You got to come here and you got to be able to manage. You got to learn what is it like to scale into a position. How do you scale in without getting yourself into trouble? And one of the things that you've seen me do is I'll draw out those levels beforehand. So I know kind of about how far I'm willing to tango with the market until I'm like, this, I don't know how comfortable I feel with this, right? So not much lower than this line. I feel like I probably wouldn't add much more. I mean, I can look and see if there's some other levels out here, but I mean, I mean, technically down to here, there's that last final support area, some liquidity down here, and it's possible. Like I could totally see the market coming down to there. That is possible, but somewhere in there, I'll probably look to settle a lot of trades. Like if at that point I'm just damage control, but right now we're still in full profit mode for the day. But yeah, if it got into here, I'm just mostly looking to see what options I have at that point, without closing most of the trades out for a loss at that point. But like I said, we're still in a really good spot. you know, I'm not even down 1% on my account at this point. Um, I can lose up to 5% and be okay, up to 5. And then if I did lose 5, I would just have to come back. I'll just call it a day and just come back on Monday, see what we could do. All right, let's see what the market can conjure up here. Let's see what it does at this level. I'm curious to see how our other, yeah, same thing. The pound franc, euro pound, and euro franc still don't have setups for us right now, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. Okay, so let's see what this does here. Um, we could see, this could either rebound here. I've also seen a lot of these, like we could see something like this with this most recent rebound. It just kind of consolidates, making slightly lower lows, and then it just kind of comes up, makes slightly lower lows, then comes up, and then eventually you get, the move you're looking for. So we'll see if it plays out that way. That's kind of what I'm thinking, um, based off of what I'm seeing here. Um, yeah, we'll just kind of continue to watch this. Got a lot of stuff on my charts. I'll just move these out of the way. How about that? All right, and we have like 20, 25 minutes left before the London market closes today. So I think we should be narrowing in on like volatility and finding a base for the market to kind of hang out at. Like I think with 20, 25 minutes left, I don't think the market would bust through all of these lows that we drew out here. I mean, it could certainly get to them, but I don't know if it would just break through those for the rest of the day type of thing. Oh, let me grab a couple more trades there. Dang, that spread's wide. Like I just added two more and it was like, um, 2 pip difference between the two. That's fine, whatever. So it's coming into another significant area right here, just kind of paused right on it. I think that's, we're kind of finding the market's like, hey, there's a lot of liquidity in here, just so you know. So far it's doing what we kind of thought, like, hey, maybe it'll come down a little, um, and kind of slow that momentum to the downside. So far, like it's still creating those lower lows, but the momentum of those lows is creating it's slowing just slightly. We'll see if that continues, because if it continues at some point you'll get another break, and typically that would be to an upside, but I still think we're a little bit of a ways from that still. So again, we just continue to wait right here. Yep, and same thing, pound franc, euro pound, and euro franc still don't have setups. It's just crazy how those don't have opportunities right now. Like the opportunity was before the banker's close hour. And we're just kind of in that waiting period, right? Like it's not creating a new low at the moment, and we're not creating any real significant high. So there's not much for us to do. I will tell you though, if the market comes, like I said, if it comes back up to this area, I'll probably settle with, like, I'll close out these top trades up here, and those will close out for minus like 7 or 8. But then I would have trades that would also be up 7 or 8. So you'll basically be at a draw, but you're going to cut the biggest losers and then keep the biggest winners. And then those are the ones that we let ride to that mid Bollinger Band and even up into these areas if we can get up there. But we're not at any of those levels yet, so I'm just still kind of waiting. Kind of a weird day, to be honest. Like there's not a lot of news, which is good, but it's just these our favorite currency pairs kind of took off without us before our webinar even started, um, which is fine. And at that, they only kind of went kind of in your favor. So basically, there really hasn't been a lot of opportunity yet. Maybe that'll come in the next hour. It's totally possible we may have to swing some of these trades throughout the next couple of hours, but um, that would be fine if it did. But that's kind of what we did yesterday. If you guys remember with the Euro Franc, it was kind of a slower hour. This one's been a little bit more not volatile, but it has made a direction for us. Like it actually has come down, whereas the Euro Franc had a range of 8 pips. This guy has moved 16, so it's double what yesterday's movement was. And we weren't really profitable until like at the very end of the hour, we were slightly profitable. And then it wasn't until like 30 minutes to an hour after the webinar where all of our profits just came, just came in. I'm kind of anticipating that similar type of thing with this guy. We may, who knows, maybe we get another high, or maybe this goes up in the next 15 minutes before we close. Or maybe it, makes another low. Maybe it comes down to here. If so, we'll work with that. And then we'll just have to swing these trades, for the next couple of hours. We do that, you guys have seen that we do that quite a bit in a lot of these webinars. Just kind of have to swing the trade. And you guys will get updated from me in Telegram. Like I'll let you know in Telegram what we're doing. I'll send you a screenshot. All of that will be there. And it can happen really quick. I mean, this actually reminds me of the trade I took last night with the Tokyo close. So I was up pretty late doing the Tokyo close. Let me show you that one while we're kind of in a waiting period. So the Tokyo close last night was right, I can see it. Here it is, right here. So here's 7 a.m. GMT, and here is 8. This is almost exact. This feels a lot like my trade from last night. So let me show you this. So here's my trade right here. So I got a signal in the banker's close hour of Tokyo to buy right here. Okay, that was the initial signal. Now, it didn't just go in my favor right away. I kind of played around a little bit, and then it went like this, 16, almost exactly what this trade did, 16, 17 pips against me. I got some really nice pin bars down here, and then it just kind of unloaded. But it took until like right at the Tokyo close, I got this bar. And then a couple of bars later, I got this. And I didn't capture all of this. That's not the strategy necessarily. But this is where I made my money, was on this right here. And how many bars did that take? Basically 2 bars. Yeah, it extended for up to 20 minutes, but it took 10 minutes to make the money. But I was in drawdown and adding for 50 minutes, right? So you're kind of being held through some pain a little bit for 50 minutes, and then in 10 minutes it all comes. So you can see how quickly things can change. And so you just kind of prep, you kind of prep your trade for that opportunity. But yeah, like I said, this trade that we're in right now really reminds me of my trade from last night. It's like almost the exact same thing. All right, let's go back to it. Yeah, it's almost identical. Who knows if I'm not saying it will be identical, but it's at the moment, it's currently acting that way. So let me go back down to a 1 minute. Here we go. All right, so we basically have just over 10 minutes left. Just waiting to see if we can get something before the end of the webinar. There we go. All right, come on, let's do it. Do it. It looked like it was going to. Oh, here it goes. Let's see. It tried at least. I really would love it to come on, make me look like a hero, right? No, I'd like to look like a hero before we wrap up. We'll see. We'll see if we can finish off. Okay, just as an update also on that mid Bollinger Band. So the mid Bollinger Band has basically moved to the break even on our initial trades. So basically the new target would be, basically coming to here. So 16 pips from where it is right now would be the new target, at least the minimum target. So I would want to pull some of these in now to kind of this area. And this is just also in preparation for us to wrap up the webinar today. But we will have made our money if it comes back to there. And I'll leave some trades beyond it too to see if we can get, a kind of a fade up to, in fact, it's quite possible we could get a fade up after this webinar. It just kind of fades out into the close today, or the New York close rather. Yeah, right through this alleyway is the target. This is where we want to close most of these trades. Right through here. That looks good to me. Well, it really has found a lot of liquidity in this area, a lot of support, which is a good sign. It's definitely found its kind of happy area, and for good reason too. Like if you go back and look at like not just here, but all the way back for a ways, this is huge. This is huge support right in here. So it kind of makes sense that, we're at the banker's close hour, it'd be kind of hard for the market to not do that, to not stop there. I mean, it'd be kind of crazy if it did actually bust through that. It's like, well, um, how does it bust through there without news or something like that? All right, so here we are. We've got a nice little move here. I've got now several trades positive, kind of getting close to that break even mark. Um, I am not going to close yet. I'm gonna let this thing. I really feel confident about this, so I'm gonna let this thing go a little bit. Um, Maybe a duplicate bar like that. Yeah, sure. I'll close. If it does that again, yeah, I'll go ahead and close out some trades. If it does that same thing again. And I'm curious to see if anything else is lining up here towards the end. Um, Actually, the Euro franc and the Euro pound somewhat appear to be buys. They're pretty close. Like that Euro franc is right close on the lower Bollinger band, so that could be a buy, which would actually aid this trade. If the Euro franc finds some support and it comes up, then this trade should follow suit as well, which will be good. And then the Euro pound, it's kind of lining up. The pound franc, not so much. Not so much on the pound franc. But I'm actually content. I'm happy with this trade. Like I mean, it looks like it'll do what we want now. We'll let this sit. I mean, I'll stay online a few minutes longer, but in a few minutes we'll go ahead and wrap up and bring some of our stop losses in. We'll go over that process too. Or who knows, maybe we create another low just before the close. If we do that, then I guess we'll add a little bit more to it. I think that's in response. If you look at the Euro franc, it also busted lower. Like it's actually finally lining up here at the end of the hour. So yeah, you could technically buy the Euro franc now. But I think we'll just kind of roll with this since this is the opportunity that we're given. All right, got 5 minutes before the London close. I just wanted to see if I could get, I don't know if it'll happen, but I'd love to see if I can get another bar or two up, because then I can consolidate. I can close out some of my worst trades for just a small loss and then just leave the rest to ride throughout the morning. And then we'll make our money on the other way. Come on, you can do it. It's smelling it. It's smelling it. Okay, so I'm close. I'm tempted. Do that again and then stay there. Okay, I should probably get my hand on the trigger to do this, but it's basically, yeah, if it punches through one more time, I'm gonna go ahead and so I'm down 50 pips, 45 pips, down 0.17%. So I'm really close to break even on these trades. If it can just punch one more time, I'll go ahead and consolidate with the market a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Just a couple of trades here, just to consolidate, kind of settle with that market. on some of these. Okay, and I'll leave the rest. Okay, this is great. This is awesome. Absolutely awesome. So now, um, like I said, we're just going to kind of scatter these targets out through here. Okay, and then as I do that, that looks good for targets today, for letting our trades run. Let me go ahead and check let's see, we need to put in a stop loss, right? Like we need to move in the stop loss for the day. Let me go ahead and delete all of this stuff because we're not using it anymore. So we need to manage this, right? And we're going to trade the Aussie franc. Always in hindsight, I'm like, dang, I could have added more, could have bought more, right? It's okay though. I think it's a good thing just because I'm trying to manage risk. I'm not trying to be one of those traders that gets too deep into a trade that's not going to work out. Okay, so the average move actually on the Aussie franc is a little lower than I thought. It's 70 pips. So basically what you do is you just take the day's range, right, on MATAF, which is 70, so 69.9, we'll just say 70 divided by 4, and that's 17.5 pips. So 17.5 pips from either, you can pick from either the market, the current market price, or you can pick like, or you can say from the low that it made. So you can go down, 17 pips from here would have put you at a stop loss right here. To me, that seems kind of tight, and I would like to, I do feel good about this, and I'd like to give it some room. I'm going to probably go about 17 pips, so about to here. Let me draw a line for that. So about here would be my stop loss. And I'll go ahead and pull these up so we can wrap up. This is going to be my stop today. And then I can update you guys on Telegram to let you know how the rest of these trades turned out, whether they hit their targets or not. You guys will know too, right? Because hopefully you have your targets set up. So just kind of right in here, I know I've got some of these scattered, right? Some above, some a little bit below, but yeah, just kind of a scattered stop loss, just like I have with my targets. And that's it. So we'll let those trades sit there, let them do their thing. Like I said, you'll get an update with me in Telegram. It's nice to see that at the end here, we did get a little move up. Obviously, we're not done yet, but it is nice to see a little bit of breathing room. We were able to kind of settle with the market a little bit. I did clock out 46 minus pips, negative pips, but we do have 28, 30 unrealized with many more to come, especially if it gets up into here. It'll be a very profitable day if we can get back up into this area that we're targeting. And then that will be the day. So I'll let you guys know on Telegram how that goes. But thanks for coming, guys. Seriously, have a fantastic weekend, and we'll see you on Monday.